Hello, dear friends. We don't wish to violate people's free will by forcing them to reach higher states of existence against their will, Ranra said. Opinion piece. Global financial reset. System transformation. Battle for global wealth. Unsustainable fiat system. The world is drawing in debt. Will it be controlled or chaotic? Gold and silver will reign again. Stock markets lose fear of tariffs. New international monetary order. Clif High calls for a summer of emergency. Let's start. The global financial system is on the verge of a significant restructuring, moving away from fiat-based leverage and toward a structure based on gold, commodities, and Bitcoin, according to Kane McCookin. He argues that the current system, based on disguised leverage and fiat currency expansion, is unsustainable and faces two possible paths: a managed transition or a chaotic collapse. McCookin foresees a financial crisis that will lead to the announcement of a new global monetary system, potentially a modern Bretton Woods 2.0. This system could include Bitcoin, gold, and commodities as settlement assets, offering an alternative to relying solely on fiat currencies. McCookin believes a restructuring of the monetary system is underway, and the key question is whether this transition will be controlled or chaotic. He suggests that those who position themselves early in gold, Bitcoin, and other tangible assets will be better prepared to cope with the changes. If the transition is executed successfully, it will stabilize the system, restore monetary order, and prevent a total collapse. However, if panic sets in, we could at some point repeat what happened in 1929 or 2008, but on a much larger scale. Debt will be the key. This time, these are uncharted territories. Countries and individuals will discover that they are no different. The less debt we have, the easier it will be to manage the ever-present crisis. McCookin points out that the current financial system is based on leveraged financial claims that exceed the underlying assets. The price of gold has been deliberately depressed through derivatives, while rehypothecation has created a pyramid of financial claims on the same assets. US debt reaches 122% of GDP, and rising interest rates make debt service unsustainable. McCookin points out that foreign buyers, including China, Russia, and the BRICS countries, are reducing their accumulation of treasury bonds, indicating a shift away from the dollar. He posits that Trump and Scott Bessent are signaling a shift toward sound currency. He suggests their strategy is to accumulate physical gold and other assets to prepare for the transition. Opinions. Clif High speaks of a summer of emergency and advises us to buckle up. According to Clif High, the event stream shows that the level of tension and disruption of normal social order due to the Epstein disclosure will occur in more than 3 months' time, near the end of July. Dr. Lee Merritt thinks they are preparing for a mass extinction event. Faking a problem and using a reactive solution. Military conscription, asks Keir Starmer. RFK Jr. believes Wi-Fi radiation degrades mitochondria and damages the blood-brain barrier, according to Dr. Alan Free, and accuses the previous administration of silencing research. According to Tom Homan, 23 years after 9/11, we have Muslims on prayer mats shouting Allahu Akbar in front of the White House. Elon Musk said, We want to take anyone who goes to Mars and ultimately build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. According to Ron DeSantis, the US sent $2.7 trillion in Medicare and Medicaid funds abroad to ineligible beneficiaries. Tiffany Chianchi believes everything is collapsing and that it is a financial arson attack because private capital manipulated the system. They built a time bomb and now it's detonating. According to Judy Binton, the battle for global wealth has reached its climax. A war rages beneath the surface, between the forces of liberation and the declining cabal, now exposed in its desperation to maintain control of the financial system before it collapses beneath its feet. Texas Republican Congressman Brandon Gill has a message for the Chief Justice regarding the activist justices. If the Chief Justice wants to maintain the credibility our courts have enjoyed for 200 years, he must step in and overturn this quickly. The people are not going to stand idly by and wait for a lengthy judicial process that will grant the president the power he already has. Elon Musk claims SpaceX could have rescued astronauts stranded in space for 10 months, after a few months at most. He offered to bring them home, but the Biden administration rejected his offer for political reasons. Now, astronauts face health problems due to their prolonged state in microgravity, including muscle atrophy, bone density loss, vision problems, and radiation exposure. Economy. The risk of recession is not as high as the media suggests. Trade turmoil leaves central banks in uncertainty. The BRICS new blockchain payment system changes everything. Wall Street's super rich are preparing for an expected collapse, according to Dave Jefferson. US debt is approaching World War II levels and is projected to reach 118% of GDP by 2035. Governments face a growing bill to cover interest payments, even though many central banks have lowered their interest rates. Gold and silver will once again become a means of financial transactions. Gold and silver are disconnected from stock markets and the real price is reached. Countries around the world added more than 1,000 metric tons of gold in their vaults last year, for the third consecutive year. Copper is at its peak. It exceeds $5 per pound in dollar terms and is slowly approaching an all-time high. India's Department of Education rated Bangalore companies that receive funding from George Soros' Open Society Foundation. USA. Trump announces the F-47, a sixth-generation fighter jet. Trump wants to cut Fed rates during the transition. Trump says there will be flexibility in Washington's imposition of tariffs. Stock markets are losing their fear of Trump's tariffs, but businesses are ambivalent. Trump signs an order to boost domestic production of critical minerals and offset China's control over the sector. It's becoming increasingly clear that the judicial coup is brewing to undermine President Trump. You can't tell people, you have to show them. The US has an ace up its sleeve to defuse the Great Slowdown, a massive stimulus through the banking sector. Liberty University students gathered to celebrate and praise Jesus. The mainstream media censored it. Europe. Gas prices soar in Europe after gas station explosion in Russia. European markets close lower after Heathrow airport closure. France ordered citizens to stockpile food for war. The globalists seek to destroy Europe's competitiveness through exorbitant military spending. EU leaders, without Hungary, agreed to maintain funding for Ukraine. According to Gold Telegraph, the well is drawing in debt. The German parliament approved a massive increase in debt on Tuesday to boost infrastructure investment. The mayor of London is building 40,000 homes for Muslims. Imagine if the government announced free housing just for white British Christians. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.